This game, by all accounts, should have been a flop. The fact that it was a cliche teen horror story, the fact that it started out as a move game for the PS3, and it's had a long, unsteady development cycle, and the fact that it was coming out in August, a time of year known as the stealth zone, as it's after the summer blockbuster season, but before the big fall lineup drops. Yet, Supermassive Games have managed to produce an engaging, genuinely scary story that plays on your expectations of this genre, and succeeds in keeping the player engaged through a 10 to 12 hour story that follows the teens trying to survive one horrific night of terror. I have been a gamer for the vast majority of my time on this earth, and while I'm very proud of that fact, I do realise that it may cloud my judgment somewhat, and I could lose sight of somewhat of what really makes a game special, which is why I'll always greatly value an outsider's opinion. I've been with my girlfriend for the last 3 years, and before meeting me, she was a casual gamer at best, playing Wii games and mobile games. I do believe she owned a PS1 when she was young, but she definitely isn't a gamer like I am. So, when I get a game and she watches me playing it, it has more of a reaction than just, is this all you do? I know that something is a bit more special than any other old game. It happened with Season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead, it happened with The Last of Us, and it happened a few nights ago with Until Dawn. As soon as I put the disc in and we played the first chapter, we were both hooked and dying to find out what happens next. This game is so well written, with an intriguing, engaging narrative coupled with purposely written, bad cheesy dialogue, creating many memorable moments. The cast is very talented also. The facial capture in this game is very good, and when playing you can see each tiny expression of fear or anger in the actors' faces, as the VO work is also pretty impeccable. Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek stand out, as does Peter Stormare, and the actor who plays Mike. The first quarter of this game is full of mock scares that you see as the group are pranking each other. However, not to an annoying extent. The scares that follow are very real, with the next part of the game being reminiscent of a 70s slashers movie. The atmosphere is built very well, with well-timed audio cues and the use of a fixed camera, working as both a homage to the classic PS1 era horror games and to give the player a feeling that they're constantly being watched. Some camera angles are unsettling and distraction shots can be particularly creepy, especially when you could have sworn that you saw something move in the corner of the screen. Then the game delves into a more supernatural horror, which I will talk about more in the spoiler section of the review. Really though, there isn't anything to spoil in this game, and the respect that you can beat the game with everybody alive or everybody dead. The only thing to spoil is how the characters die, which can be in a few different ways. Increasingly gruesome, but I won't spoil them here. That's not to say that everything this game has to offer is positive. Several of the big twists can be seen coming from a mile away. For example, my better half guessed who the killer was within the first hour of our playthrough. But other than that, I'm struggling to find any real criticism in this game. It is just a fun experience that I would recommend to anyone, whether you're a horror fan or not. Okay, spoiler time. The twists in this game are fairly obvious. From early on in the game, it's clear that the therapy sessions with Peter Stormare are a hallucination, probably a hallucination of the psycho in a clown mask, and that psycho is probably Josh. All of these things come to pass, which means that when they're revealed to be true, the shock value is pretty much lost. It is also fairly obvious that there is something after the group besides the psycho, something that is more likely to be supernatural. The only twist was finding out what that is, and when it's revealed to be the golem-like Wendigos, I was somewhat disappointed. These creatures are pretty cool on how they move, they're very twitchy and they're very quick, but they're fairly generic in design and they're not all that scary unless you know what they look like. The characters' deaths are quite well done, but half of the characters have fake deaths before their actual death scenes, which makes the actual deaths somewhat less impactful and sometimes they fall flat. Overall, Until Dawn is an engaging experience that doesn't really have any major flaws. For the most part, the humour and the scares are well executed, and while not all of the characters are likeable, they're all well written horror stereotypes that are played very well by their real life counterparts. The game was unexpectedly great, and by a number of people they seem to agree with that. It's a surprise hit, and likewise for me, it exceeded my expectations and served as a very pleasant and welcome addition to the modern horror genre. 8.5 out of 10. By the way, I have a podcast. Me and one of my mates for uni, Jonathan, we try to do it every single week. It's called the Gameswitch podcast. So if you like these videos and you like listening to me ramble on about this pointless stuff, go and download the podcast, please, and give it a listen. If you like it, share it with your mates. Thanks for listening. See you all later.